Hello,
Hi, everybody. I was just dancing.
Hi,
Simon.
folks.
Welcome to my channel. We're happy to announce SQL Bits 2024 with Simon Sabin, and Alberto is below me now, but I leave the word to Simon.
So, welcome. Thanks for inviting me to your channel to talk about SQL Bits. I think I'll let you wait for a little bit before we tell you the date and the place. I think there's a few people that probably don't know what SQL Bits is really, and so I thought it'd be a good chance to talk about SQL Bits and where we've come from, why SQL Bits is amazing, why we think it's the best conference in the world. Talk about where you've come from and how you've been part of SQL Bits as well.
Yep. So,
Yeah,
Alberto, you want to start saying 2 words?
towards about us, or we start talking about SQL Bits
About
immediately?
your experience, SQL Bits. I mean, people are,
SQL Bits. Well, let me tell you, SQL Bits to me is the conference. So if there's a conference I want to attend every individual year, that is SQL Bits, just because it's just because, and we can talk about that. But I think we can even do a step earlier than that. Why attending conferences at all? Because you can choose among different conferences all around the world. And to me, SQL Bits is unique. But why attending conferences? A lot of people do not, I don't think they really know what's the value of a conference. They think it's probably the technical content, which is there. They might think it's meeting the speakers. Well, that might be interesting. But I don't know your opinion. To me, going to a conference is mainly social interaction, meeting people that think like you, meeting your peers, meeting people that have your same issues or they struggle with the same thing that you do all the time, and have the option of being open and talk and compare your experience with that of everybody else. That is why conferences, which are very friendly, very open, with a lot of social interaction, like the legendary SQL Bits parties, they are important because they let you create a network, a connection. And to me, the conference is all about the network of people that you meet and the option of exchanging ideas with other people. I don't
Yeah,
remember when was our first SQL Bits, Marco. It's quite a long time ago. In your
it's.
calendar is
I
several
will not
years
tell you
ago.
when. It was in Brighton, so people can look in Google when the last Brighton conference was for SQL Bits, and I think it was one of the. It was not the first, but one of our first conferences in Europe, and then we also flew to the United States, and we were there as speakers. And what impressed me, because I was used also to stay on the organization side of the conferences, just in Italy, and it was amazing for me to see all the volunteers that are there to build this to make this conference happen. And it's amazing because the number of people who dedicate time even just to welcome speakers, to welcome attendees, and to provide all the kind of hospitality that you don't have in other conferences. That's the reality. So there are bigger conferences that have a lot of maybe gifts and maybe more perfect locations and nice things, but the warm you have at SQL Bits in terms of uh, interactions with the other attendees and the speakers and the organizers and the volunteers is absolutely amazing. So
I
yeah,
Simon,
and
think you can find. Oh, go
yeah,
ahead, Simon.
I think both of your points are almost summarize where we've come from SQL Bits. I mean, conferences. I hate conferences, like which might sound odd coming from somebody that runs SQL Bits. But I hate conferences. I think most conferences are like the worst experience ever. Like I get massive anxiety. You don't know where things are. You don't know who to speak to. Like they're crowded. They're noisy. They're bright. And what we've done at SQL Bits, and I think this is sort of one of the real strong bits about what we've done is over the years we've just tried to remove as many things as possible that make people anxious and nervous, and makes it this amazing experience, amazing space for people to learn primarily, so they can go to sessions and learn, but also the fact that they are in this very calm, relaxing space, which means that they're able to network and collaborate and meet other people. And because everyone's anxiety levels are very low, it means that you can have those conversations in a much nicer way. And I think over the years, that's then developed on the sort of helper and that side, where like people attend and then they sort of go, oh, this is quite nice, and then they go, oh, let's be part of it, and so they come and help, and then they come and speak, and it's amazing to see so many people that have evolved their careers through being at SQLBits, and that's really, I think, the essence of SQLBits, and what makes it this very unique thing. I remember at Wales this year speaking to lots of people, and everyone goes, yeah, like SQLBits is just unique, but we can't really put a finger on it, but everyone just feels happy, relaxed, and just feels it's nice, and that we're super proud of, and we spend a lot of effort making that happen. So yeah, but the helper thing is really important, and the people's journey through learning and collaborating. And I think we've got a couple of helpers on the call that we could probably bring in and talk about their journey. And
absolutely.
Yeah, that would be great.
So we start with Emma, I think, right? Hello, Emma.
Hi, how are you?
Well, thanks.
Yeah, so volunteering. Now, I actually first attended the SQL Bits conference as a delegate, and I was a frightened delegate that basically came on my own and didn't talk to anybody for the whole 5 days. Didn't really join into anything, except for one night where I actually went to the pub quiz, which is an awesome event. And one of the volunteers noticed that I wasn't part of a team, that I was on my own. And after sort of briefly talking to him, he said, yeah, I think it'd be really a good idea if you can get involved in the conference, if that makes you feel more comfortable. And that was back at Telford in 2014. And as the years have gone on, I think I've definitely become more and more confident, especially in an environment like SQL Bits, because it's very community based. Everybody is looking out for each other. Everybody's suffering with the same errors, the same problems in their environments. And we all get to just chat about it and chill out. And I think, for me personally, the orange shirt gives me more confidence to help people out, because I remember what it was like being that frightened person that sort of shuffled in at the back and just sat down. Yes, I learned, but I didn't get any of the benefits of the community. The current role I'm in now, I got because of connections within the community. So my current job, and it's a brilliant job as well. My current job came from the community. I know quite a few other members as well who got their roles from within the community at SQL Bits. But I think I've never been part of a team like the SQL Bits team, because we are just all so together. And if one person sees another person struggling, we just all pull together. And I think it's a really good team to be part of. And I've actually said at job interviews, SQL Bits is something that I'm committed to. If I've got to take the leave, I'll take the leave. But just as a heads up, it's something that I really enjoy being part of. And now I've been lucky enough to progress on to host the Bits Buddies Blast podcast, which is a SQL Bits podcast run by the Bits Buddies. For those of you who don't know who the Bits Buddies are. We're looking out for anybody who looks extra lost or extra alone, or we're just there to try and brighten up your day, because a lot of the time the other volunteers are running around sorting things out for speakers, making sure other people know where they're going. So we've just got that little bit more time to spend with delegates who may need that extra support. And I think it's a really good introduction. And through the podcast as well, we've been able to talk to more members of the community. And a lot of these people, you know, after sort of seeing them year on year, you know, I definitely call a lot of them my friends. And I think that's amazing from something that, you know, as Simon said, I was never a big fan of conferences until I went to SQL Bits, because we talk to each other. And I think that's the key thing. I've been to so many conferences where people just don't interact. But volunteering's definitely helped me out from an anxiety and a confidence perspective so much. And I also know that if I had that really, really ridiculous error that nobody in the world's ever seen, that, you know, I've got plenty of people that I could reach out to professionally to get that help and support as well. And I think as well, it's really nice because the speakers, that person that you've been watching for years on YouTube, they'll actually come rock up and sit down and have a sandwich with you at lunchtime, you know, and you're like, oh. But that's what makes it so nice.
Everyone's just a human being in the end.
Yeah.
And it's nice that people can connect like that.
Yeah, definitely. But it's definitely worth attending, 110%.
Yeah, it's lovely to see people's progression over the years. So yeah.
Just mute Emma, because otherwise we have an echo. Okay. And I think we can introduce another volunteer, Simon.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes, we got Felix on now, who has also come on board. Hi, Felix.
Hi, Felix. Let's unmute Felix.
So
what's your journey, Felix?
So my journey started probably around 2018. I attended my first conference, and being such a big conference, similar to Emma was saying, you know, it's very difficult to talk to people. You don't really know anyone. But, you know, once I got over that fear and I was able to talk to one or two people, it actually was really interesting because everyone's got vast amount of experience. People are using the same tools, but in different ways. It was really good to kind of just talk to the delegates that were there. And attending all of the sessions allowed me to kind of really understand those tools and even get deeper into them. So it actually kind of motivated me to understand more about a certain tool. And, you know, after those sessions, because they're really good eye-openers, and then you kind of go into it deeper. The following year, I helped. I became a helper because I found it really inspiring that everybody was doing this. And it was really fun. Even the 7:30 starts, but having breakfast with everybody, discussing what we wanted to do. Everyone's really helpful, and having those beautiful orange shirts, you know, you can't say no to them. They're lovely colours, yeah, it was really good. It's kind of, again, similar to Emma. I mean, that's where I met Emma. Interestingly, having an orange shirt, she was there, and I knew I could approach her and I talked to her. I had an orange shirt as well, and it was really nice. And again, you know, being part of the data community helps you build those connections, and being able to talk to people who are like-minded, have a real passion for the technology and the data is really good. And having that network helps you, branch out. Again, the company I'm working for, similar thing. You know, a lot of people do data community events and talks, and that's allowed me to work with them and giving me the confidence and inspiration to blog and start speaking myself. So a couple of years ago, I started talking. First time ever was at SQL Bits conference, which was nerve-wracking, but I managed to do it, and it helped me build that confidence to talk in front of people, explain technology in a assertive manner, and and give back, which was a really big thing for me, was to give back to the community. Because I remember Marco and Alberto's first website, which the SQL was it SQL BI guys website. It was, I used that a lot. So meeting them a lot at the conferences as well was great, and a few other names I'm going to drop.
And I think that the interesting point is we haven't really mentioned the content. Like it's almost become the sort of secondary piece, and I think that's because like it's almost taken for granted that we've got world-renowned speakers. We have like more content than any other data conference in the world. We have like 300 odd sessions, like 200 plus speakers, all from like leading experts from across like the globe. But that's irrelevant if the experience and the conference isn't set up for people to be learning and to be connecting. And so I think it's really important that, and like Emma and Felix are a testament to, like, in attending, you can become like better, not just like technically, but also sort of in terms of your career. And those little things just like, it's self-perpetuating for us, because we need speakers, we need people to be keeping contributing. And I think someone made a comment as well, is that I think you could probably point to a lot of user groups and other communities around the world that have essentially sort of come off the back of someone attending a SQL Bits and meeting someone and starting a user group, or helping someone support run a user group. That's the uniqueness. And I've got to mention our sponsors, but it's ironic that all of these big conferences that get exposed, and they have like all these booths, so you've got to run the gauntlet to try and get through without being sort of tagged by a sponsor. We don't do that at SQL Bits. We have sponsors. We still have lots of them, like 20, 30 sponsors, but they are sort of secondary in an expo, which means that the attendees are the primary focus. But because everyone's relaxed, everyone's having these conversations and the conversations with the sponsors, and all the sponsors feel that they get a much better experience as well than they do at any other conference, because everyone is so relaxed and open to having conversations. And so yeah, all our sponsors love it as well, which is like just fantastic. So it's all really nice.
So the
I
thing
think
is,
sorry.
there's an
Okay,
eco still.
Alberto.
Okay. Now, the thing is, it looks to me we are somewhat forgetting the reason why we are here, because all this chat is absolutely lovely, but I guess everybody's asking just one important question,
Yeah. So
and I guess you know what it is.
Alberto, in order to give the stage to Simon to make the announcement now, I would say hello to Emma and Falek, just because we need more real estate, because we need the. So hi Emma. Wait, let me unmute. Hi.
Thank you, guys. It has been great to
you.
talk
Thank
with
you,
you.
folks.
Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Okay. So now let me do everything here. It's time for Simon to do the announcement. Let's go. Let
Wow.
me check. I go.
You-
Go. Now, here we
Have
go.
we gone? Have we gone?
Yes, we're ready.
So, SQL Bits 2024 is going to be at Farmer International Exhibition Centre on the 19th to 23rd of March. In conjunction with this, like, we have now got a very swanky new website. So you can all go to SQLBits.com and find out all the amazing things about SQL Bits. A little bit about the website. We've got a new video on demand piece, so you can find all our videos going back to 2007.
Yeah.
Find all your
Wow.
favorite speakers.
You kept all the videos. Wow.
Oh yes, we have thousands
Amazing.
of them. So
Amazing.
yeah, you can go and find some interesting MDX discussions from the two guys on this chat, I'm sure.
From
And
the old time.
yeah, hold on to
Simon,
that.
I think
what about the theme for
Oh, yeah.
2024?
yeah, but also the date, because okay,
Well,
this
obviously,
place is close to London. For those people that are not from UK, it's I think southwest of London, if I remember well, not too far from London, but not in London. And what are the dates?
so the dates are the 19th, the 24th of 23rd of March.
March. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So I
And
already locked my
yeah.
agenda. That's fine. Okay, good. Let's go.
So from a theme perspective, Farnborough International Exhibition Centre is actually part of Farnborough Airport. So it would be a myth not to use aviation as our theme. So everybody loves a bit of a SQL Bits theme. So we have clearly put our planes and our helicopters and our balloons all over our website. So yeah, come up with some ideas about how you're going to dress up for SQL Bits party on the Friday night, because we will be fully up there, Top Gun-esque.
So my expectation, Simon, I want to fly in an helicopter and then in a small plane. I mean, this is the minimum, right? So free flight for everyone.
well, clearly you two. Like, I'm assuming now with all your success, I'm going to see your Gulfstream landing at the airport. I'm expecting nothing less. Even Mr. Whittles might touch down his little Cessna plane. Who knows? So there's a couple of things that need to sort of highlight. So the pricing will come out next week. But one of the things that we're really proud of is I want education and SQL Bits to be for everybody. And so from a pricing perspective, we have always priced it so that everybody can attend, even if you've got a small budget. If you've got no budget, you can attend because Saturday is always free. If you've got a small budget, then you can attend on some days. And SQL Bits as a cost is way cheaper than any other data conference. And it's even cheaper to come to SQL Bits from North America and around the world than it is to go to any other conference because of our pricing. Now, to make that pricing work, we have to we will essentially, we can't give everybody the cheapest price. So we do an early bird price so people can get their cheap price. The change this year is we need a bit more control internally just to manage this due to the costs. And so what we are doing is there will be an allocation of tickets at the early bird price. So it's no longer going to be date based. It's going to be, there's an allocation of tickets. And so the pricing will be announced next week. You will then have 5-6 weeks before tickets go on sale. So that gives you 5-6 weeks if you want to get the early bird pricing, to get your boss convinced, get your colleagues convinced to attend, whoever pays for your conference, and then ticket sales will be open at that point. And once that allocation of early bird tickets goes, we'll go into the next wave of ticket pricing, and that's how it's going to work this year. So we'll see how that works. Hopefully it will work out for everybody. Essentially, the allocation of tickets, we are providing the same allocation of tickets for each early bird pricing as tickets that were bought last year. So if there's 150 people bought full conference early bird price, there will be 150 tickets available. So given we look at the number of people on this stream, there's a lot of interest. We are moving back to London, and so there is going to be lots of interest. So you're going to have to get your ducks in a row quickly to get those pricing if you want those pricing. But it's really important for you to appreciate that. And yeah, pricing will be
May I ask
a
question as an attendee, a speaker? What about the hotels in the area? Because I guess that there are a lot of hotels there because there is some air show planned every year. So is it a problem, or should people commute from London to go there?
Oh no, there's plenty of hotels, and people will go, why haven't we gone into London? Like going back to the Excel or whatever. But one of my things about cost, like hotel costs in London are massive, and so going to Farnborough, there is a much broader range of hotels from your Premier Inns and your travel lodges, all the way up to the Aviator, which is next to the hotel, next to the conference centre, premium hotels. And to answer Brent's question, it is going to be hybrid, so you don't even need to come in person. You will be able to attend virtually. That's something that we are carrying over from when we were doing this in COVID. It was a massive hit. I don't get why other conferences aren't continuing it on. I don't want people to fly if they don't need to fly. You will get a better experience in person. There is no doubt. Meeting people, networking is way easier. If you just want to consume technical stuff, then yeah, you can attend virtually as well.
Okay, now that we made the announcement, I think that there are many. I tried to move the interesting questions or comments in the live, but there are too many, to be honest. It's Alberto, because we stopped talking about what are our memories and why. Because to be honest, I have to say that. So when we received the email about from SQL Bits says we want to do something different. We want to announce the SQL Bits in your channel. Can we collaborate? We said, well, you don't have to ask. I mean, we are so happy to do that because, as I said before, SQL Bits was is technically not the first conference, but it was the first time we were in a warm environment in a conference. Even though we didn't know anyone, because the first time you attend a conference, you don't know anyone, but in a few days we knew a lot of people. So it was absolutely amazing, and that's the reason why we were so happy to offer our communication and channels to spread the word about SQL Bits. So Alberto, what do you remember about Brighton, and what is your memory?
Well, about Brighton specifically, barely nothing, just because my memory doesn't go so far. What I remember was that it was probably one of the first times we were speaking publicly in English, and my pronunciation was not that good, but it was hard, and we learned.
But you still talk this way. I mean, you know that your fake British accent doesn't work, so it's just an Italian.
But my Italian accent does. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's impressive when I look back at the eldest video we have about our first conferences. I mean, it's depressing on some point because you look at yourself and say, "Oh my God, I was so bad at talking and explaining and doing stuff." But we learned really a lot. And as I said, to me, SQL Bits is about friendship. You have the warm environment that you typically have in small conferences, like a SQL Saturday, where everybody's a friend and you just meet to have a chat. You have 50, 60 people at most, and it's very easy to interact with everybody. You don't have the same feeling in large conferences when you reach thousands of users, so there's no way to meet everybody. Still, in some way, and that's probably what Simon explained, SQL Bits has been able to keep the same warmth, the same friendly experience of a small conference in a very large conference. That's what makes it so interesting. Then since Brighton, I guess we have always been there. We probably didn't miss a single SQL Bits apart from COVID, of course. And yes, that's, as I said, to me, it's the conference. So I remember, Marco, many years ago, we were talking about the difference between being a speaker or just making your job as a consultant.
We're losing Alberto.
There are a lot of people that do not go to conferences because they are too busy doing something else, like their daily job. Whereas in our experience, as soon as we know the date of SQL Bits, that's a written in stone on the calendar, there are no ways we can accept any other task during that period. The conference comes first, and everything else, because the value you get is so much.
There's one thing I want to say before asking also to Simon. We were talking about this yesterday, and one thing that I think so far, okay, we're going to SQL Bits because it is fun, because it is work. The reality is that from a technical point of view, the number of sessions that this conference has is absolutely huge, which means that usually you have the difficult choice of choosing the session to attend. But the other important thing is that there is a lot of different level of content depth, which means that you can find very introductive sessions and very, very advanced sessions. In many conferences, it's hard to find very advanced session because who organizes the conference says, oh, we had to attract sponsors, we had to attract attendees, we have a limited number of slots, so we select those more introductory sessions so that we get more audience. SQL Bits, really, you have sessions that are for maybe 20, 30 people, and you say, oh, but this is a session with a small number of people. Yes, because it's a topic so deep, so particular that is interesting for a small audience. But the ability to have this kind of session together with sessions that are attended by hundreds of people line outside the room, that's really, really amazing. And I always think about your job, Simon. How do you manage to have all these sessions recorded and then recorded and distributed online? So that's another huge thing that SQL Bits started to do very, very early, before any other conference.
Yeah, from day one, we've recorded sessions and made them available for free afterwards. That's been like almost the heart, the lifeblood of SQL Bits, and also the content. Like the content has been for the people, for the attendees, and I've added more rooms and sessions so that we can have the things that like the masses want, but we can also do the tail of sessions that about those niche topics, because the people need to know those niche topics. And I'm not frightened of having a room that's got 20, 30 people in it. And to your interesting comment about having people queuing outside rooms, one of the things we make about SQL Bits is like we have so many sessions, and we make the rooms large enough so that like we don't have people queuing outside rooms. And if for some reason we've got a stupidly popular topic, then what we can do, I remember there was an interesting one about source control and Tyndall in Wales, like the first announcement of Tyndall, and the that was overflowing, but people could attend that by we stream it into the auditorium, into the expo area, and you can sit on there with some silent disco headphones or like these, and you can watch the session of your choice. So there are so many ways of engaging and watching the content, and all of those things are trying to remove the anxiety and make it a good experience. I'm amused by the sort of the Brighton comment. Brighton's got, I think, some fond memories in lots of our hearts. It was stupidly hot. Like for anybody that knows Brighton, the Brighton Grand, infamous for having an ROA bomb back in the day, and got blown up and got rebuilt, and we were having our conference there, and we had the expo, and there was a big glass sort of conservatory thing on the front, like looking out over the sea, which was lovely, except when it was sunny, and it just made it really hot. I remember the venue wouldn't allow me to go and buy. I wanted to go and like go to Tesco's and buy like a raft of Magnum ice creams for everybody, but I was not allowed to. I'd have had to pay corkage on ice creams. But I think one of the things about Brighton is something that we've tried to replicate lots, which is having people staying in the hotel and the venue, and it being a very immersive experience. And if we go to Wales last year, had a very similar feeling because we took over the whole venue and it had that experience of being very immersive. Like the hotels weren't far away, and so it was very easy for people just to sort of just get stuck in. And it's probably one of the main reasons why we've gone to Farnborough this year, is because we will take over the whole venue. Hotels are close by. It's a nice immersive experience, as opposed to like Excel or somewhere else where it's a very different experience. All our best conferences have been where it's like us, like SQL Bits, we take over, and it's just this lovely immersive experience. And yeah, hopefully with planes and parachutists and helicopters and whatever, we will have the same. We'll have the same this year or next year, 2024.
Nice. Okay, so I mean, it was amazing. I have seen a lot of comments, a lot of people watching and excited for the announcement. So I think we can close the session at this point. But basically, you have to go to SQL Bits for whatever reason. You can have technical reason. You can just have fun. You can meet other people. You can be in an inclusive environment. You have so many reasons to attend SQL Bits. You have to, basically. So we look forward to seeing the registrations open, I think, and the call for speakers if you want to speak at SQL Bits. And
Yeah, so
I think, yeah.
call
Simon.
for speakers is in, I think it was the 25th. I think Rob
Yeah,
just posted that.
We tried to move the messages over, in the channel. So it's 25th, the speaker. There is already some link on the website, but the opening for a call for speaker is 25th, I think. And that's it.
Well, thanks very much, gents. Been an
Thank you.
honor and a pleasure.
No, it was an honor for us to get to be able to host this announcement. It's very, very exciting and amazing. And see you in 2024 at SQL Bits.
Thank you, Simon, and thank you everybody for attending the session. See you.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.